Yeah, Ranjan.
Yeah, hi.
Okay. So let me just make you. I'll just single one. Okay, perfect. So we have quite enough number of people today. So let's begin with the first. Durgeshwari is here, or Durgeshwari is still on the way? She is still on the way. So anyway, we'll move to another one. Lesson Fargan is still on the way. Okay. Pragya Parimita Pradhan.
Hello, sir.
Are-
What is magical realism and why it is used in cinema?
Let me just figure it out. His spot video. Now this spot video business is right. So Ranjan, can you see yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Chaliye, Parimita Pradhan ji.
What is magical realism and why it is used in cinema? Explain two scenes from any Indian film where it is used effectively, and two scenes from non-Indian films.
Correct.
Magical realism that combines both natural with. Sorry, sir. Hello,
Continue.
sir.
Continue.
Ji, sir. Magical realism that combines both natural with unnatural and surreal elements of dreams, fantasy, and metaphor. It is used to tell folk stories mixed with natural relevance. Magical realism might be used in cinema to show the inner psychological conflict, oppressed desire, or to explore the human emotions. Sir, example of Indian films: Akkam, English meaning Inside, Malayalam language drama thriller movie. In the film, the main protagonist Srinivas suspects her wife Ragini is a witch, not a real human. The scene of Srinivas and Ragini in a beach where Srinivas followed her in a joyful mood. In the next shot, he found unconscious in the beach. The scene started in a very bright light and ends up in dark, feels like a dream experience. The climax scene where Ragini go deep into a pond that filled with green weed and vanished. But in next scene, Srinivas was sitting near the pond in wet clothes, indicates that he killed his wife. The scene was symbolic and lives in ambiguity. Example of non-Indian film: Uncle Bunomi, Who Can Recall His Past, directed by Apichatpam Virasatagul. In the film, the main character Uncle Bunomi, who is preparing for his death by spending his time with his loved ones. In the opening scene, there was a black bull tied in a tree which escaped and ran towards the jungle. The whole composition and color tone that set a possessed mood, and bull in Buddhism relates to birth. The scene where dead wife of Uncle Bunmi appears in dinner table to guide his husband on the journey to heaven. The scene was very natural. Other present characters didn't react dramatically. It is a belief dead family members visible to the person before few hours of death. Sir.
Excellent. हाँ अच्छा ये जो question number 2 है, is this the question? Is it the other question?
जी sir.
हाँ
Yes.
अच्छा
Yes.
Naresh, you have not put the question on experimental cinema this time?
So there is.
अच्छा, there are 3 questions or what?
Correct.
This time? हाँ?
Yeah.
अच्छा. Okay. अच्छा, let me just go through the first question. देखो हाँ, just can you come to the top, the beginning of the what is magical realism? Why it is used in cinema? Acha, explain two scenes from any Indian cinema where it is used. Explain two scenes from any non-Indian cinema where it is used. Magical realism combines both natural with unnatural and surreal elements of dreams, fantasy, and metaphor. It is used to tell folk stories mixed with natural relevance. Now, this is correct. Okay, that you have written. It combines both the natural matlab what you must have meant is the realistic setting with the unnatural in the sense surreal elements of dreams and fantasies and metaphors. Okay, it is used to tell folk stories, myths with natural relevance. So it's a combination of two components. Ek hai realism and something which is beyond realism, which is, you know, which you're calling unnatural or surreal or okay, or fantasy. Okay. Magical realism might be used in cinema to show the inner psychological conflict, oppression, oppressed desire, or to explore the human emotions. This is also right. Okay, this is also right. Okay, go down. Yeah.
Is this to find myths and natural relevance?
What she meant by it is used to tell folk stories and myths with natural relevance. I think what she meant by natural relevance is key. Parimita, just tell me what you mean by natural relevance. Is it the realistic setting you're talking about?
Ji sir, realistic relevance, that proper word, like
okay.
Realistic approach, maybe right word.
Okay. Acha, go down.
One second.
Example of Indian film Akam inside Malayalam language in the film main. Okay. देखो यहाँ पे एक चीज जो है, यहाँ जो तुमने एग्जाम्पल दिया मलयालम फिल्म का, you know, it is purely psychological. I cannot call it magical realism. Okay, because in that case, every psychological thriller, every, you know, scene or any film that has a scene where the character thinks something. Okay, just a moment. Yeah, hi. I'm good. Yeah. Okay. So, देखो, first of all, I was explaining that any psychological explanation of a character, character is suffering from trauma and he thinks that he has killed his wife or he has done some blunder. You know, that is not magic realism. Okay, though you have written, just go up a little. Go up a little. You have described magical realism as the second point. Magical might be used in cinema to show the inner psychological conflict, oppressed desire, or to explore the human emotions. I'll just change my opinion. This is not the case. You know, it becomes the point number 2 is not a part of magical realism. Then it becomes a psychological study. Okay, where you are dealing with characters who are psychologically, you know, disturbed characters, and they look at the world, see the world in a manner which the others don't see. There's a major difference between how one particular character is looking at reality and how other characters are looking at the same reality. So there's a conflict. Okay, so that is not magical realism. What is magical realism? I'll explain later. Okay, so the first point is valid. So second point is not valid, and the second point and the first example of Malayalam cinema is also not valid. It's a psychological exploration of a situation of a character that you're talking about. But the example from the Thai film it's a Thai film, not a Burmese film. It's a very famous film which Thai film which I have not seen. Just go down. ये एकदम सही है जो तुमने लिखा कि नॉन इंडियन फिल्म में जो अंकल भूमि जो लंबा नेम वाला जो फिल्म है is preparing for his death by spending his time with his loved ones. Good. The opening scene, there was a point number 1. It's not relevant. In the opening scene, there was a black bull tied in a tree which escapes and runs towards the jungle. The whole composition, color tone, that sets a possessed mood, and bulls in Buddhism relates to birth. Okay, so this is something which is really happening, or it's what? I mean, the bull can escape now. Tell me.
Sir, I think it is symbolic है ये.
Then if it is okay, so it may be true or it could be symbolic. I mean, yeah, a bull really can run away, and the director is equating the running away of the bull with something. It's like we call it a kind of a premonition. Premonition, premonition is something. You have a premonition that my father is going to fall ill. I have a premonition that if I go there, I'll meet with an accident. Some kind of a कुछ चीज जो होगा तो उसका एक मतलब सीट पहले से तुम्हें पता चल जाता है. Okay, So
Yes, sir.
so it's some kind of a premonition. So second point is really very good. The scene where dead wife of Uncle Bhumi appears in dinner table to guide his husband on the journey to heaven. The scene is very, very natural. Other present characters do not react dramatically. It is believed that dead family members visible to the person before few hours of the dead. So that this is absolute magic realism. Magic realism में क्या होता है, जो क्या होता है, so called unnatural या so called magical चीजें जो होते हैं, they happen in a very natural manner, and the characters, other characters perceive that so-called unnatural thing, okay, in a very most realistic, in a very most natural manner, as if it happens. This is the thing that would happen naturally. People are not surprised. That is called magical realism. Okay, matlab unrealistic things happen, unnatural things happen,
Yes, sir.
and the people are cool about it, as if it's a part of the daily lives. Okay, so this example is definitely good. So I would still, I'll give you good marks for the very simple reason. At least I'm sure, without really going deep into what magical realism means, you have tried your best to explain what is magical realism. Half of your question is answer is right, half of it is not right. Okay, it is not a psychological case study of a character. Okay, silence के बारे में क्या लिखा तुमने देखा? What is
silence is not to react in terms of speech, a muted respond and verbally inactive. In cinema, silence is used to describe emotions like deep sorrow, anger, and even love, where words felt secondary. Where there is silence on the screen, audience observe more on the visible subjects and actions. This makes the scenes more intense and intimate. Silence used to create suspense and make audience more curious. सर एग्जाम्पल मैंने बहुत सोचा,
ठीक है,
मैं सर एक
नहीं आया, हाँ बोलो
नहीं सर,
हाँ.
मैंने थोड़ा कंफ्यूज हुआ कि साइलेंस हियर, आई मीन कंप्लीट साइलेंस सीन में थ्रू आउट, या फिर कैरेक्टर इज जस्ट म्यूट.
What is silence? No, not character. The scene, the scene is such where there's silence, matlab complete silence nahi. Silence matlab a scene which does not have dialogues, does not have, it might have incidental sound. Incidental sound are the natural sounds. अगर रात का scene है,
वो इनका, हाँ हाँ,
दूर से कुत्ते का आवाज आ रहा है, हवा का आवाज सुनाई दे रहा है. So that is a silent scene. Silent scene does not mean कि एकदम पूरा dead soundtrack एकदम dead है, ऐसा नहीं है. How you're using silence to evoke some kind of an emotion. That is one of the biggest challenges. That is what makes a cinema very cinematic. Okay, it is very easy to put in music, background music, okay, to underscore some kind of an emotion. But how can I, underscore the same emotion without the help of music, just through silence? Okay, so तुमने जो लिखा वो सही है, ठीक है.
मोहम्मद मासूम राना दीवान.
थैंक यू.
Yes, sir.
Okay, नीचे go down.
Magic. Will I start reading? Yeah.
Yeah.
Magical realism is a fiction genre in media that blurs the boundaries between reality and fantasy.
Yeah. Hello, we can't hear you. Hello, where are you? We can't hear you. Naresh, can you hear me?
No, I can hear you, but not this boy.
Achha.
Hello.
Hello, sir. My net went away. Sorry.
आजा. चलो फिर से पढ़ो. हाँ.
Magical realism. Sorry, sir. I will turn off the Wi-Fi because if it comes back, then it will again go off.
Okay.
Magical realism is a fiction genre in media that blurs the boundaries between reality and fantastical elements. However, it differs from the fantasy genre as the fictional world is initially rooted in reality with slower and incremental invasion of fantastical elements.
Very good. Very good. Got the then.
The fantastical elements in this particular context have no structure to their in-universe mechanics and aren't considered normal as they are in fantasy, and yet they happen as a matter of fact and are treated with a certain amount of nonchalance.
Good. Then
the fantastical elements in themselves are pushed aside logically to pave way for commentary and character arcs. The elements are used as a means to an end in the narrative. They serve as a counterpart to the realism in the story, mirroring elements to enable a journey that the protagonist is unable to take in the realistic world.
Okay.
Yeah. Magical. So the second part of the question was why, and how is it used in the movies? Magical realism is used in movies over the multitude of benefits it provides. Since the logic of the world within the story is set in a version of our own, magical realism acts as an escape for the protagonist from realism. It also acts as a visual break for the audience.
देखो यहाँ पे हेलो, can you hear me? हाँ,
Yes sir. Yes sir.
देखो यहाँ पे जो तुमने लिखा ना, it also acts as a visual break for the audience. Okay, I don't think it's magical realism in cinema is used as a device.
Tea break or something like that.
It's not used as a जैसे कि song sometimes in पुराने जमाने में हिंदी फिल्मों में, commercial Indian cinema में songs were used as a visual relief. बहुत हो गया ड्रामा, हाई ड्रामा, चलो एक song लगा दो, ठीक है, so relief मिलेगा, then again the action picks up. So I don't think in cinema magical realism is used as a script device, screenplay device. It has to be a part of the narrative, how you weave in. Okay, chalo then
it allows the filmmaker to visually externalize the needs and wants of the characters.
Again, yeah, but it is not a psychological study also at the same time. Okay, chalo paro
It allows the filmmaker to confront reality through fantastical elements. Real life commentary is added to the conflicts and resolution within the fantastical structure and through the use of fantastical elements.
Okay.
As the use of magical realism in cinema is visual, it allows for a tremendous amount of exposition through scenes and behavior. A general understanding of the characterization in such cases is more visual, thus cutting down on dialogues for exposition and enabling a certain amount of nuance.
Okay. Any other point?
Okay.
So यहाँ पे I just want to add magical realism, as you have through these 4 points, the way you have tried to explain. Basically, according to you, magical realism is used as a device to first तो तुमने लिखा it's a visual break for the audience, which is not true. Secondly, it's used more like a psychological device to study a character's perception. That is also not true. Then it becomes a psychological case study. Psychological study and magical realism are two different things. They can, of course, sometimes come close to each other. But magical realism, which you have explained very well in the first section of your answer, you deal with a situation which is rooted in reality, of course, the reality that we know as realism. Okay, which is basically the way we look at life, the physical reality, the plastic reality that we call. Okay, and वहाँ पे बहुत ही smartly, बहुत ही प्यार से you introduce elements of the fantastical elements that we're talking about, okay, which are not realistic. Okay, and it is not that it is the perception of a particular character. It is something which is happening as if for the characters in the film. Okay, for the characters in the story or the plot, it's something very, very natural which is happening, as if it's a part of the daily lives. जैसे कि the previous speaker परिणीता जो थाई फिल्म से एग्जांपल दिया कि the dead wife comes to take him away to the kingdom of death, maybe. Okay,
yes, sir.
And there are other characters sitting around the table, and they're also looking at that woman, dead wife, who has come to take this character to the kingdom of death, and they're reacting in the most natural manner. ऐसा नहीं है कि ये सिर्फ वो आदमी ही देख रहा है कि मेरा वाइफ आया है, बाकी लोगों नहीं देख रहा है. अगर वो वही आदमी अगर देख रहा है, अरे मेरा डेड वाइफ आया मुझे लेने के लिए, और बाकी कैरेक्टर्स नहीं देख रहे हैं, then it is not magical realism. Then it is a psychological perception of a character. Okay, that he's seeing visions. He's seeing visions. Then it is a purely psychological something very specific to that particular character. लेकिन यहाँ पे क्या है? यहाँ पे everybody is watching the same ghostly character. जैसे कि I'll tell you a very interesting anecdote कि Irfan Khan, who unfortunately died last year, when he was dying, just moments before the death, okay, he was surrounded by his wife and sons and some close people, loved ones. So just a couple of moments before he died, suddenly he starts saying, my mother is sitting in front of me. He could see his mother sitting on a chair beside the bed. Everybody started crying. That is not magical realism. Okay, that is, the psychological perception of a dying man, Irfan Khan.
Hmm.
Okay, who suddenly, because he has understood I'm going to die, and he can see his mother, who has been dead long back, must be, he's sitting in front of him beside the bed. Now nobody else can see the mother, isn't it? Okay.
Yes.
तो अगर तुम अगर ये सीन तुम शूट करो जहाँ पे इरफान खान हाँ, तुम जो शशांक बोल रहा है हेलुसिनेशन, वो इरफान खान का हेलुसिनेशन था, तो इसको तुम मैजिकल रियलिज्म नहीं बोल सकते। मैजिकल रियलिज्म तभी होता अगर बाकी सबने भी देख रहा है वो मम्मी को, मदर को, वो तो रियल लाइफ में नहीं होता है ना। रियल लाइफ में ऐसा फैंटास्टिकल एलिमेंट्स चीजें नहीं होता, ये सिर्फ फिक्शन में ही हो सकता है, लिटरेचर में हो सकता है, या तुम्हारा फिल्म में हो सकता है। सो फॉर द कैरेक्टर्स इनसाइड द फिल्म द थिंग इज वेरी नेचुरल, बट फॉर द ऑडियंस द थिंग माइट फील अ लिटिल awkward, अरे ऐसा कैसा हो सकता है यार। But the audience needs to get adjusted to this kind of a storytelling if it wants to understand and appreciate the plot. Okay.
Sir, can I add something? Like I
हाँ,
understand. So that so I understand the point, and I will work on it.
हम्म,
The reason why I wrote this externalization factor is that through my limited exposure to this magical realism, all the story का जो world होता है ना, even if people are acting nonchalant, they are very much catered to the hero's journey.
Of
Like,
course.
It's
Yeah.
designed in such a way
Of
that
course.
every element. That is why I wrote that it's visually externalizing the needs and wants. So that, like, there's a story I read recently.
I'll just quote an example. Wait. I'll just interrupt in between. Have you seen the Buddhadev Das Gupta's last film before he died?
No, sir.
There is an aeroplane lying into some jungle and all that. Okay.
No, sir.
So you watch that film and you will understand what I'm talking about. Buddhadev Das Gupta uses this element of magical realism not in all film, but sometime he do it. So in the last film, I remember that one, and there was another film in which through the window a plane comes. I think I don't remember the name of the film. I need to find out. So Buddhadev Das Gupta uses.
You're talking about Hawai-Zada. I think Parimita Pradhan says. I've not seen the film.
Hawai-Zada is a different film. Hawai-Zada is a FTI graduate that.
Okay.
That is a different film. This film I'm talking about is a Buddhadev Das Gupta's film, in which through a window you see a plane and something like that. I don't remember exactly. I think Sudeep shot that film, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So you see that last film which I'm talking about, and
Yes,
then
sir.
probably you would be able to understand the context, because you are not able to identify any specific film in connection with this.
No, sir. I'm going into this. Sir, I'm going into this. There are two stories, like Coraline.
Go down, jara. Naresh.
So Coraline and Ocean at the End of the Lane, and in both the stories, there's magical realism. Like in this one, in Ocean at the End of the Lane, there are monsters. Like the kid narrating the story knows that the person his father is having an affair with is a monster, and people around him treat her as a monster itself, like a real monster.
Okay.
So the story is dual layered. She can also be a monster, and they can be a kid's perception, but the fantastical element is still an externalization of his own trauma about his father's.
True.
I added that.
Yeah. True. Both the layers. It could be an externalization of a trauma, but if it is viewed as monsters by other characters also,
Yes, sir, that is why I wrote that.
Then it is magical realism.
Sir, I think it's mostly a problem with more and more pieces coming out that filmmakers tend to wrap everything around in a singular theme. So world is very much catered towards the hero. It's not a world that the hero lives in. It's a world that serves the hero, and that is where the problem lies in my understanding.
Okay, now read your answer. Read your answer so that everybody else also will be able to understand.
Okay, sir.
If you're talking or you're reading, nobody understands.
Okay, for the Indian film, for the purpose of the answer, the Indian film, we will look into Bakita Byaktigato by Pradipta Bhattacharya, Bengali, 2013. A documentary filmmaker, Promith, trying to understand the concept of love, finds out a village called Mohini where apparently everyone falls in love. So the question was, I had to pick out two scenes where they use magical realism. I think this one is a little flimsy, but I will go on. Scene one is that to investigate Shampa, since she looks exactly like someone else Promith had seen in Kolkata, played by Aparajita Ghosh Das, Promith decides to go to her place. At length, he questions her grandmother about their lives and yet finds no answer on how she is connected to the fact that he has seen her in Kolkata. Her grandmother insists that once anybody comes to Mohini, literally translating to enchanting or infatuation, people don't go back. As Promit walks away, confused why Shampa looks the way she does, Shampa comes, kisses him, and runs away. Promit is immediately head over heels about Shampa, not thinking about the logic of the identical faces anymore. The mystery of the identical faces is forgotten about. The face becomes his object of affection. His investigation of the mystery in retrospect appears as him stalking someone he likes.
Okay. But is it his perception only, or when he reacts to that lady that you're talking about, grandmother, her grandmother insists that once, and so that grandmother is a real character now, or it's a part of his imagination?
Madhubi plays her.
Acha, Madhubi, okay, ठीक है.
Sir, in the movie, it's implied that the village itself is not real. So the village is standing for love, which I will go into the second point.
Okay, chalo, go to the second point.
Promit is enabled. So once he completes his, Promit is unable to find Mohini, the village. Upon returning, having left the village to complete his documentary, Promit decides to retrace his track with his leads, who told him about Mohini. The scene is a montage where every lead has suddenly disappeared and their homes are inhabited by different people. Interspersed with the montage is him trying to come to terms with how everyone could just disappear. As the car goes around Kolkata and he recollects from his previous interviews, he suddenly stops the car to see a woman. He walks up to her and sees that this woman also looks like Shampa and the palm reader's wife. In this scene, the context, Mohini village acts as love, and Promit's frustration comes from his inability to find his way back to the enchanted village he left behind. The appearance of this new woman signals his new infatuation, as actor Aparajita's face is thus cemented as Promit's view of any woman he is smitten by.
Great.
ये documentary film है या fiction है?
It's a fiction film about a documentary filmmaker.
Okay.
I've heard of this film. I've not seen this. It's supposed to be very good. I'll look up this film. मैंने देखा नहीं. देखो ये जो तुमने लिखा है, ठीक है, and the way you have narrated and all, of course it has elements of magical realism, but it is also a kind of, it's only the man's perception, isn't it? So it's a psychological study of a documentary filmmaker, his concerns. Okay, वो भी हो सकता है, and we can also call it magical realism. So the dividing line between a psychological study of a documentary character and magic realism यहाँ पे जो है, ये फिल्म में जो है थोड़ा सा blurred हो जा रहा है. So okay, I'll grant you your explanation. The way you have explained, yeah, it has elements of magical realism definitely, because things are happening in a very natural manner. But we know these are not natural, because when he comes back to the city and he's looking around all the places, the original characters are no longer there. They are being inhabited by different characters. ऐसा ही है ना? अभी दूसरा characters दे रहा है. That is what you have written, ना? Hello, are you there?
Signal problem.
Hello.
Yeah. So so this is a good example. I mean, the यहाँ पे जो तुम्हारा जो answer जो example जो है, वहाँ पे we can call it magical realism. At the same time, it is also a psychological, study of a documentary filmmaker. The way he perceives some things that he experiences. Okay,
yes,
so it can be both basically. Okay, so देखो कभी-कभी क्या होता है, मतलब कोई भी art form में, we cannot be so categorical, or so we cannot be so airtight जिसे हम लोग बोलते हैं. ये magical realism है और ये magical realism नहीं है, ये surrealism है और ये realism नहीं है. We cannot be so strict in our, but for the sake of study, when we are doing studies academically, intellectually, we need to compartmentalize. We need to break them into sections. But in our practice as an artist, whether in its application in literature ho ya cinema ho, the line sometimes blurs between these different, approaches. Okay, so yeah, this is a good example that you have given. दूसरा कोई example? Any other example?
Yes, sir. The second part was English film. For the
मतलब
purpose of this question, we will consider this film called Pleasantville, 1998.
okay.
Twins David and Jennifer belong to a dysfunctional family with an absent working mother. The loner brother who finds solace in Pleasantville, a 50s all-American black and white sitcom, and his popular sister find themselves transported into Pleasantville. Scene 1. David finds his fictional mother in the kitchen crying. She is guilt-ridden over. So, okay, sir, I have mentioned that the original TV is black and white.
Okay.
David finds his fictional mother in the kitchen crying. She is guilt-ridden over being technicolored because that represents a sudden wish to get more out of life, experience love and sex in marriage, and not just duty. David asks her to get some makeup and paint his mother gray, her lips black, and sees her become a little calm. Although he himself didn't like his sister causing people to change into color, David sees how much wanting to live or explore meant to his fictional mother and her guilt around that need. Her eyes remain green, yet David insists she looks all the same to his mother. Lacking a strong parental presence, this moment of vulnerability suddenly makes David realize the need to not look for absolute structure in patterns and in constraints while still being complicit in hiding his mother's needs.
Okay, then.
Yes, that is the first scene.
But how can you call it? Just explain to us. How can you? Why are you calling it magic realism?
Oh, sir, the world is black and white. It's a TV world. It's a TV world where this guy has transported into.
Okay, that way. That is what. ठीक है, चलो, yeah, समझ गया. Okay.
She became technicolored and now she is ashamed that she has needs.
Okay.
Scene 2. David is put on trial for adding colors in Pleasantville. His fictional father, George, is on jury duty who is unable to cope with his wife's change. David confronts his father, asking him if he misses her, to look at her and whether she looks wonderful. George starts crying and nodding, and David asks him whether he wishes he could tell her that himself. George says yes, and it is revealed that George has also become technicolored. Sir, नीचे
जाओ.
David, the judge gets into the argument with David over color being inside them. David instigates the judge, asking him about what he wants to do with David, leading to a world with colors, kids making out, women going to work, and men staying at home. In a losing fit, the judge shouts that it could not happen and turns technicolor himself. Breaking the structure of an all-American conservative, nice neighborhood structure, the judge is unable to accept himself as someone with emotion that are his own and not socially implemented.
Okay. Okay, this is also a good example. Yeah.
Sir, for the second question, I didn't think I was well equipped enough to write an answer, so I didn't.
Don't get into this explanation. Whatever.
ठीक है. तुमने जो किया है.
Yes, sir.
Okay, move further. You have chosen the right director, and more or less you are quite correct.
No, I mean the second answer. I mean, the sound, the silence. Yes, sir. I don't know enough about the subject matter, so I decided that it will waste everyone's time.
Okay.
ठीक है, चलो.
Choose an experimental film. The film in question here is Ale Reni's Last Year at Marienbad. The experiment is around narrative memories and time. The story revolves around an unnamed man, X, and an unnamed woman, Y, negotiating over the validity of the promise that she would elope with him after 1 year. The movie uses two unreliable narratives in the form of the pair lead. Time and its flow as a concept doesn't exist in this movie. The only focal point remains that it takes place 1 year after their last meeting. The real events and emotions are disguised as party activities. Only the space of the Baroque-inspired mansion at
Baroque. It's called Baroque. Baroque.
The Baroque-inspired mansion at Marienbad and the gardens are valid in both their narratives. Even not the people around them. Reality in itself is flimsy. The only differentiating factor between the leads is their confidence around their own narrative. Although there might be some semblance of truth in their meeting in the aforementioned last year at Marienbad, we as the audience have no knowledge of the truth of their present meet. As for all we know, it could just be one character negotiating with themselves over lost love who might as well be dead. So they then have to pick three specific scenes. Scene 1, X, the man, like the narrator, challenges Y's husband, M, for a game. While he has repeatedly played the game and lost every time to M, this is the first time he's playing this after M's identity as Y's husband is confirmed. It's a simple game of sticks, tiles, or cards being laid out, and the person who is left with the last one to pick it up loses. So, Nietzsche, it's presented as a duel for Y's partnership, and X loses again. The scene is interspersed with Y looking at her own pictures from last year that had to be taken by X, laid out in the exact same way as the tokens in the game, as if dueling herself over the truth.
Okay.
The second point I had is Y remembers meeting X and asking for a year. Scared that someone might walk in, she tells him to go away. Her husband walks in and X accidentally falls off as the stone railing breaks and he dies. This scene is particularly important because it elevates Y as a narrator herself rather than a fragment of X's narration or imagination. This scene also mirrors X's own anxieties and memories of Y's husband killing her, giving us two narrators who do not agree on the events and yet share similar sentiments.
Okay.
And the third and the last point is, can I?
Yeah. Good.
The film has repeatedly shown other attendees in the mansion in absolute still position and saying things. However, in a particular scene, everyone in the mansion is still until except Y. Y moves around, walks around very freely while nobody else does. Her husband moves around when she's around and goes back to being still away from her. The characters eventually break into repeating whatever they were already. Sorry, sir, I'm fumbling a little bit. The characters eventually break into repeating whatever they had already spoken previously. It seems that they are memories where the narrator doesn't know what to do with them to fill in the spaces of time when they weren't around.
Okay. See, you have used up more words than allotted to you, I think.
Yes,
just go up. Okay, word limit kitna tha? Come. I want to see. I want to see the question. Naresh, just show me the question. क्या था?
Question ये है कि experimental film choose करो. Experimental film you have recently seen, and what was the experiment done in it?
In that context, he is
specific example from the film. Like, मतलब वो experiment जो है तीन उसके अंदर क्या है? Point those three experiments. 3 points of experiments.
I thought the question was like, what is an experimental film? So
that's the question. Choose any experimental film you have recently seen. What was the experiment done in it? अब तुम सुभाष घई का फिल्म चूज करोगे तो
नहीं ठीक है नहीं if this is a question then his answer is good it's only that I think it's more than 300 words.
That's okay because
ठीक है your answer is good you have explained quite well.
It's a good example you have selected.
Why you have considered is
a film which people would not have seen, they would not be able to connect. So Last is a famous film. And brilliantly shot in black and white.
Yeah.
So Shashank Jha is back from his yatra of Badrinath. So come back. Shashank, are you around?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. I did not go to Badrinath, sir.
Go to okay, chalo.
Sir, I just got time for 2 answers, so I wrote. So
ठीक है, चलो.
Yeah, magical realism and its use in cinema. As the name suggests, magical elements blend with reality to create magical realism. The plot, characters, narrative, location, etc. all remain sufficiently real. However, magical elements are blended seamlessly into the narrative to create a different genre. The mundane world now is surrounded by magic everywhere. If art is a type of mimesis, an imitation of reality, Aristotle's Poetics, then magical realism is too far away from it. The genre was used most prominently by Gabriel Garcia Marquez in his book 100 Years of Solitude, where some people never sleep, the dead return from the past, some people eat dirt, etc. Effective blend of magic convinces the reader about the plausibility of these events. The imagery conjectured by the mind is extremely visual. Painting too has its fair share of surrealism. Salvador Dali, for example, whose works are an exploration of human psyche and not the real world, unlike the magical realists. The expressionists modify or manipulate reality. The magic realists blend the real and the unreal. These are also different from pure fantasy films, where there is no element of reality. The uses what I could think of was to explain things or events which cannot be rationally explained, to resolve paradoxes, for creating stunning dreamlike visuals, to explore subconscious mind of humans, or it's simply a different style of storytelling, and it also expands the creative liberty that can be taken by the filmmakers.
Okay, देखो यहाँ पे जो तुमने 1,
Yes, sir.
2, 3, 4, 5 जो points तुमने डाला, okay, only the last 2 points are true as far as magical
Okay.
realism is concerned. Simply it's a different type of storytelling. Of course, it's a different type of storytelling where you're mixing realism with, you know, unnatural, non-realistic elements. Okay.
Okay.
And of course, the last point is expands the creative liberty that can be taken by the filmmakers. So you can go beyond realism. Okay, you can explore
Okay.
other zones. Okay, which is not possible to explore if you restrict yourself to realism. Okay, to explore subconscious minds of humans. Again, try to have this spoken about this before. The magical realism is not necessarily an exploration of the subjective or the subconscious mind of the characters.
Okay.
Okay, because it is very natural. Magical realism, though it is magical, ओके ऐसा नहीं होता है, रियल लाइफ जिंदगी में ऐसा नहीं होता है, हाँ, लेकिन तुम जब फिल्मों में देखते हो या किताब में पढ़ते हो, तुम्हें लगता है कि अरे ये बहुत ही नेचुरल है, यू नो, और ये जो नेचुरल जो है, सो कॉल्ड द मैजिकल वर्ल्ड, ओके, ये सबके लिए नेचुरल है, मतलब डेफिनेटली कैरेक्टर्स जो है उनके लिए भी नेचुरल है, कि मार्कस ग्रेवी मैजिकल रियलिज्म इसलिए नहीं यूज कर रहा है, कहाँ से आ रहा है म्यूजिक, हाँ भैया, हाँ, सो ये इसलिए नहीं मतलब ये कोई सब्जेक्टिव एक्सप्लोरेशन के लिए नहीं है, यू नो, तुम रोमन पोलांस्की का फिल्म देखोगे, यू नो, तुम रोमन पोलांस्की का ये फिल्म देखो, रिपल्शन, व्हिच इज हिज आई थिंक सेकंड फीचर फिल्म, okay, वहाँ पे a woman left alone, a young woman left alone in a flat, you know, who's suffering from schizophrenia, okay, she commits 3 or 4 murders when people come to visit her, okay, and she's looking at the perspective, uska jo corridor hai, when she's looking at the corridor, okay, you know, the corridor is expanding dhire, so because of the use of lenses, okay, suddenly there's a scene, there's a very famous scene where she's walking down through that corridor inside the flat, suddenly she sees hands appearing, you know, hands appearing from the walls on both the sides, human hands, okay, so and she's scared, तो ये जो है वो जो देख रही है, जो महसूस कर रही है, वो प्योरली एक साइकोलॉजिकल स्टडी है, ये that is not magical realism, समझना, समझ में आ रहा है, वो फ्लैट में अगर उस वक्त दूसरा कोई रहता तो वो हैंड्स नहीं देखता, सिर्फ यही औरत देख रही है, बिकॉज शी सफरिंग फ्रॉम साइकोलॉजिकल सम काइंड ऑफ अ फक अप, ठीक है ना, स्कीजोफ्रेनिया, और एक सीन है, द हैंड्स, दोस हैंड्स, द सेम हैंड्स grapple her breasts and she starts shouting, okay, it's a purely psychological phenomenon, so this is not magical realism, so don't confuse, you know, magical realism with the exploration of the subconscious minds, this I'm telling to everybody, okay,
got the point,
so second point है, for creating stunning dreamlike visuals, yeah, you can, of course, if you're a filmmaker, you can always do that, but sometimes filmmakers do fall into this temptation of creating stunning dreamlike visuals, so they resort to magical realism, but before that there has to be a necessity for creating magical resorting to magical realism. ये सिर्फ ऐसा नहीं, चलो एक आइटम नंबर डाल देते हैं, चलो यार, हाँ, तो चलो एक ड्रीम लाइक ये डाल देते हैं, ऐसा नहीं है, you know, there has to be a solid reason, and first point is also a little relevant to explain things or events which cannot be rationally explained, to resolve paradoxes. ये जैसे कि परिणीता का example, again I'll refer to Parinita's example, कि ये भी I don't know whether I can agree with this or not, because it's a new world which has its own dynamics, which has its own laws, which has its own rules, which are which may those rules and those laws, the conventions of the world of magical realism can be in conflict with the conventions of the real world that we know. Okay, but those are very natural in the world of the magical realism. So again, it is not used to explain things or events which cannot be rationally explained. I don't think this is true. Okay, so the last, so ये सबको समझ लो कि magical realism is not a psychological exploration of this thing. Okay, वहाँ पे psychological exploration हो सकता है, लेकिन उसीलिए magical realism use नहीं किया जा रहा है, ठीक है ना? Because cinema is always a psychological exploration of characters. We call it psychological realism. There's a word, you know, the question might come: what is psychological realism? We are always dealing with psychological realism in cinema. How to depict the psychology of a character, the mindscape of a character, how to externalize that. Psychological realism. Okay. Chalo, what is silence? How it's used in films? Yeah.
Sure. Traditionally, absence of sound implies silence. Similarly, absence of dialogues meant silent films in the past. Silence may also mean absence of emotion. Silence at a philosophical level may mean cessation of all thoughts. In fact, silence may mean various things to various people depending on the context. The common thread is that silence too tells a story. In the mundane world, silence cannot be construed as lack of communication. Rather, it is used to multiply the impact of the message conveyed. A man gets slighted. In response, he may simply look back at the other person with all the message in his expressions and demeanor. Naresh, sir, can you scroll down, please?
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Bolo, did you ask me something?
No. I just asked Naresh sir to scroll down.
Okay.
So, thoda sa up jana hoga. I can't see the.
Scroll up, Naresh.
Silence in cinema is very much part of the narrative, rather than being a gap in the same. Emotional messages of anger, disbelief, surprise, fear, awe, disdain, love can all be portrayed through silence. Silence can at times communicate more effectively than words, and hence silence is as important. Silence is an important raw material for filmmakers. The two examples that I could think of was amplifying lonely moments. For example, Michael Corleone visiting his father, Vito Corleone, in The Godfather at the hospital. He looks sadly at the wounded father, who in turn just manages a feeble smile. In this scene, the
entire scene amplifies grief and loneliness. ठीक है, अच्छा example है.
Loneliness.
Okay. Then
Naresh,
go down a little, Naresh. In Castaway,
in a similar way, sir, only the ambient environmental sounds are present almost throughout the film. This reinforces absence of any human contact and loneliness of the protagonist.
सही बात है. These are two very good examples. In fact, the last couple of points just go up a little, Naresh. Yeah. Silence in cinema is very much a part of the narrative rather than being a gap in the same. Of course, it's very well said. Emotional messages of anger, disbelief, surprise, fear, awe, disdain, love can all be portrayed through silence. Silence can sometimes communicate more effectively than words, and hence silence is an important raw material for films. Very good. Okay, I think this is good. This is a good answer that you have written, and the examples are also good. Yeah.
That's all, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
I'm really sorry, sir, for playing the guitar while I was not in mute.
No, but why will you play the guitar? Because you are required to participate, listen to the discussion.
No, I was listening to it. I was listening to it, sir, but I was playing a tune that I often play, but I was actually listening to it. I'm really sorry about that. Okay. Magical realism is primarily a literary fiction genre that started in Latin America. When a highly detailed realistic setting is invaded by something too strange to believe, it is called magical realism. To establish magical realism, the world created by the artist must seem naturalistic, but the events occurring or sometimes the characters must be supernatural. In addition to that,
could be supernatural.
Could be. Okay. So in addition to that, these magical elements scattered in the reality should be unclear or unexplained in order for them to normalize in the realistic settings.
Very good point. Very good point. Good. Then
it's the acceptance of magic in the rational world or portrayal of magic and unreal elements in an environment grounded in reality.
Okay. Good.
Why is it used?
Sound has gone, Pushpam. Sound is not clear.
Is it clear now, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Films nowadays portray the ultra-realistic form, not just in terms of the image and sounds, but also in terms of narrative and portrayal of the ever-changing culture of society. So much that sometimes the real mental struggles and inner turmoil of a particular character is untouched. This is why I believe magical realism is used in cinema to transcend the boundaries of realism. For example, it's hard to understand an individual's mental state who has just been through a severe trauma or lost a very close member of his family.
Again, you know, you committing the same mistake. I just Just a moment, give me 2 seconds, okay? Yeah, sorry, just let me run through. Film nowadays portray the ultra realistic, not just in terms of image sounds, but also in terms of narrative and portrayal of ever changing culture of the society, so much that sometimes the real mental struggles and the inner turmoil of a particular character is untouched. That is why I believe magical nay, again, as I've been telling you all, again, it is not a psychological exploration. Magical realism is not used to explore a character psychologically. Okay, it is an entire world out there. Okay, chalo. So this is not true. Okay, I'll move on to the next paragraph. Okay, magical realism is also a tool to critique a system.
Also
This is a very
Also-
interesting point that you're making. Yeah.
magical realism is also a tool to critique a system, a social or political issue. In Lost River by Ryan Gosling, the film is based on a town that is flooded, underwater, and nearly destroyed. People are already leaving town to find establishments elsewhere. But the elements of magical realism comes to play when the protagonist learns about the presence of underwater town, and retrieving an item from this lost town would lift the curse from his town.
This is a good example. This is a good example. You know, the presence of I have not seen the film Lost River. I'll see now. Looks interesting. So the presence of an underwater town and retrieving an item from this lost town would lift a curse from the. So it looks very natural for the characters. It's very natural. Like in real life, में तो ऐसा होता नहीं है ना. Okay, so the people believe in the existence. It's not that some superstition. So it's actually an underwater town which is existing. Okay, so this is magical realism. Okay, chalo. Then Indian films where magical realism
is used. An Assamese acclaimed film that earned selection in various film festivals is magically realistic in its core nature. Suman and Nirmali, right from the moment they met, were slowly gravitating towards each other. Especially, they met on a regular basis to taste delicious cuisines of various meat recipes that Suman brought and Nirmali loved. But they are nowhere near the radar of becoming lovers. Nirmali is a married dentist and Suman is much younger, a PhD scholar at Guwahati University. For Nirmali,
who directed this film?
Bhaskar Hajarika.
Yeah, I think I met that guy. Yeah, carry on.
No, Naresh.
Yeah.
Naresh.
Yeah.
See this film. It's a bloody great film, man.
I met this guy. Somebody introduced me to him.
He's a very popular
guy from Assam who is an NSD graduate.
He's an NSD graduate. Okay.
Yeah, his film was in a Mami. Here it is about that small town near some small thing. I'll tell you the name of that film. So then he introduced me to this guy. You must meet to see. I think it is the same film. Probably.
It's a beautiful film. Okay, chalo pado.
Okay. But they were nowhere near the radar of becoming lovers. Nirmali is a married dentist and Suman is much younger, a PhD scholar at Guwahati University. For Nirmali, all the excitement turned to fear when Suman, desperate for Nirmali, one day accidentally touches her hand. But Suman pulled out another insane trick of a recipe out of his bag. He decided to feed Nirmali one of meat recipe, but the meat was from his calf. Nirmali immediately, in love with this new recipe, kept asking for more. She was intoxicated and couldn't have enough of it, and soon addicted, which led to killing of an old rickshaw rider, innocent rickshaw rider later, and they were caught by the police. Although there are no prominent magical elements in the film, the fact that Suman is feeding Nirmali his own flesh and Nirmali getting high of it, it's itself very bizarre and unreal.
Point number 2 kya hai?
Point number 2, there was a surreal dream sequence when Nirmali first tasted human flesh, and although it was a dream sequence, extraordinary and peculiar narrative events suggested magical realism.
Acha, I don't remember what were those. It was a dream. I don't remember the dream sequence. Okay, anyway, go forward. Point number 2.
Another scene would be the final scene where
which brought Nirmal and Suman.
which
Acha,
brought
where
Nirmali
they are
and
caught
Suman
by the police.
caught by the police and are now being photographed by media since their story of cannibalism and murder is trending hot. As flashes were going off, Suman hold Nirmali's hand in front of police station, and as convicts, and this time she embraces it, unlike the last time.
This is यही है ना और कुछ है क्या? अच्छा, anyway, so देखो यहाँ पे देखो I देखो first of all, I don't think Amis has got anything to do with surrealism, okay, because things which are happening, human flesh खा रहे हैं अपने पेट से, मतलब मीट काट करके वो लेडी को कुकिंग करके खिला रहा है, और लेडी भी इनिशियली थोड़ा सा शॉक्ड हो जाता है, लेकिन लेडी भी एंजॉय करने लगती है ह्यूमन बॉडी का फ्लेश. ओके, दिस इज रियली हैपनिंग, यू नो, इट्स रियली हैपनिंग, बट ऑफ कोर्स इट्स बिजार. ऐसा होता नहीं है, looks very unnatural, but in the film it is actually happening in a very realistic sense, not in the fantastical sense of the term. Okay, so you cannot call it. I don't think Amis has got any magical realism element in the
but sir, Nirmali is intoxicated. She wants more. She is getting high.
So that is the
unreal
thing.
part.
That is not unreal part. That is not. She's really enjoying the human meat now. Now she really wants to, you know, eat the meat of some other human being, and that is why this guy goes and kills a rickshaw puller and is caught in the act. Okay, so there's nothing unnatural about it. It's very bizarre. Of course, it's very bizarre. ऐसा generally it's plausible. You know, plausible का मतलब क्या है? Aristotle has used the word plausible कि ये a story needs to be plausible. Plausible मतलब ऐसा होता नहीं है, लेकिन ऐसा हो सकता है.
Okay,
you know, so that is whenever you're telling a story, a realistic story, of course Aristotle talks about realism because at that time there was no magic realism. कि a story, जैसे कि a lady had told me long back after watching कहानी में विद्या बालन की कहानी देख के मुझे बोला कि I don't know Ranjan whether I like the film or not. Why didn't you like the film? ऐसा थोड़ी होता है real life में. मतलब देखो real life में ऐसा नहीं होता है, लेकिन हो सकता है. There's an element of plausibility. हो सकता है, you know, that is what makes the story interesting. So similarly in Amis, ये लोग जो ह्यूमन फ्लेश खाने लगते हैं या कोई इंसान को मर्डर करता है उसका फ्लेश खाने के लिए, ऐसा होता नहीं है, लेकिन ऐसा हो सकता है. There is an element of plausibility, no matter how bizarre is that. Okay, so nothing is happening out of the world. It's not something fantastic which is happening. It's not something कि somebody's dead wife comes and carries him to the kingdom of death. ऐसा नहीं है.
Okay, sir.
So I don't think this is the right example, but of course it is a great film. Okay, chalo.
My next example would be wrong again, sir, I think. Because it's based on the similar. The House That Jack Built, a film by Lars von Trier, is loosely based on.
Wait, it's 7 o'clock. We'll break for 10 minutes and then we'll.
No, ये खत्म कर लेते हैं ना. Then we'll break.
चलो ठीक है.
हाँ, 2 मिनट में हो जाएगा खत्म.
Okay, sir. The House That Jack Built, a film by Lars von Trier, is loosely based on serial murderer Ted Bundy. The film is a debate between Jack and Verge, a voice in Jack's mind. Jack, who believes that his murder are a form of art to liberate himself, and Verge believes that Jack is just another pseudo-intellectual serial killer. Jack is professionally an architect. But one day, by accident, when he was giving lift to a stranger woman, he found his jarring passion for murder. Another interesting fact about Jack is that he has severe OCD, which makes him a perfect serial killer who cleans after his crimes flawlessly. Number one, on one particular scene, Jack manipulates a stranger woman to getting into her house and kills her on broad daylight. Later, he takes his sweet time to clean the house. But that's when the police stumbles. When he, in grave confusion about what to do, attaches the body to the back of his red van and drives off to his rendezvous, which essentially leaves a great blood trail on the road of his exact path because of the friction between the tarmac and the human flesh. There is no way he could clean the entire blood trail. But that's when the skies roared and the rain came pouring like cats and dogs, washing all the blood that was on the streets that led to him. Although the rain is not exactly a magical element in the real world, the timing of this particular pour is so perfect and fulfilling that one can call it marvelous or magical realism.
No. Anyway, chalo. This again.
So that's why I said it was wrong. But the next example I think can be
chalo,
correct.
poro.
Another example is from the end of the movie, where Jack is almost caught by the police, but suddenly found his old pal Verge, who was just a figment of his imagination, has now become real. As the police was cutting through his thick metal doors, Verge leads him to an underground hole for him to escape the reality. He takes him what many believes to be the 9 stages of hell mentioned in Inferno by Dante. This magical element finally suggests the inner hell he was living within as a person, which was suppressed, which he suppressed his whole life, is now erupting like a volcano as police was knocking at his doors and he was about to be caught.
Yeah, this is an element of somebody, kind of unreal, somebody who's no longer alive, and flesh and blood comes and helps him. Okay, so you can say this is magical realism. Okay, but the other examples are definitely not examples of magical realism. Okay.
So I thought about giving examples of Inarritu's Birdman, but I thought everyone would be giving examples from that.
No, Birdman is definitely magical realism. Okay, in fact,
and Beautiful as well.
The Beautiful, I don't remember. I've seen that film long back. Anyway, हमारे अभी we'll take a break of course.
दो लोग हैं जो थोड़ा लेट जागे हैं, उन लोगों का पढ़ेंगे हम लोग लंच टी ब्रेक के बाद.
अच्छा ठीक है, वो लोग आए हैं क्या? हाँ बोलो.
Sir, is it okay during the break if I talk to Lesson about his answers on this Zoom call?
No, not here because
Acha.
I have to. Okay, you can talk. I will just pause the recording. So sometimes it creates a problem. So Durgeshwari Sharma.
Yes, sir.
6 o'clock means 5:55.
Yes,
Okay?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, start.
Magical realism is a genre that depicts the real world as having an undercurrent of magic or fantasy. Within a work of magical realism, the world is still grounded in the real world, but fantastical elements are considered normal in this world. The magical elements are largely used to give a better understanding of reality. They reflect the human experience by illustrating emotions that can be hard to describe with words. Magic realism is most effective when it's blended so seamlessly into reality that viewers don't bother to try to figure what's behind the magic. Instead, it's best to allow your imagination to lead you into the wondrous world of the story being told.
Okay. ठीक है. Basically, the point number 1, point number 4 is true, correct. Number 2, the magical elements are largely used to give a better understanding of reality. In that case, I mean, every film will use magical realism, it does not. So you cannot say that magical elements are largely used to give a better understanding of a reality. It's a choice that a director makes. I'll resort to magical realism, not necessarily to give a better understanding of the reality. That could be one of his purpose, but there are other. It's a choice. This is the world that I want to show. Okay, they reflect the human experience by illustrating emotions that can be hard to describe with words. But we are not talking about words. We are talking about films, visuals, and images. Okay. Anyway, ठीक है, चलो, this is correct. Okay, go down.
Magic realism has been effectively used in the movie Bahubali. In the song Ore Raja, Bahubali and Devsena are seen traveling by ship, and the ship converts into flight mode. They are then seen traveling in the clouds, which occasionally takes the shape of horses. The audience forgets everything and is immersed in seeing the union of Bahubali and Devsena in the magical world created in the scene. Another scene where it is used effectively is when Bahubali enters the castle. The soldiers pull down a coconut tree, and in unison with Bahubali, they form a cylindrical shape and fly into the air and land perfectly in the castle. The scene is created magically to build the image of Bahubali further and raise the curiosity of the audience.
Okay, so just I've not seen Bahubali, So ये जो 2 examples तुमने दिया कि ये जो examples हैं कि ये तो समझ में आ रहा है magical है, okay. The rest of the film is realistic or what? मतलब सब
It's a mix.
Mix in the sense.
It's not completely magical reality. Like I felt
No,
these
no,
two.
I would say the song also, this cloud and converting into this, it is more of a fantasy rather than, I would say, magical reality.
Okay.
Think again.
Okay.
Think again my underlined word. It is more of a fantasy. They are fantasizing this rather than a magical realism. That's why I'm saying, watch this film of Buddhadaiv Das Gupta's last film. Then you probably would understand what I'm trying to talk about. Since you have not seen that film, it will be futile exercise to discuss that scene.
जैसे कि बाहुबली का जो 2 तुमने examples दिया, तुमने I think these are like 2 points in the film, okay, where you take off in a flight of fantasy, then again you come back. It's almost like चलो थोड़ा सा कुछ different करते हैं. It is not a part of, it's not it is not naturally weaved into though the second example, because I've not seen the film, so I'm not very sure. Another scene जो तुमने लिखा, another scene where it is used effectively is when Bahubali enters the castle. The soldiers pull down a coconut tree and in unison with Bahubali they form a cylindrical shape and fly into the air and land perfectly in the castle. This can be, the scene is created magically to build the image of Bahubali further and raise a curiosity to the audience. This could be magical realism, but I'm not very sure because I've not seen the film. ठीक है, चलो, I mean, at least you have attempted and tried to justify your point. Okay. Number B,
magic realism is effectively used in the movie Black Swan. The scene where it is used is when Nina sees a feather coming out from her back. She gets nervous and pulls out the feather. The scene is heightened when her mother tries to barge in the room and Nina hunts her out. The scene ends with Nina's legs taking the shape of a swan's and bends from the knee, and she falls on the floor, hitting her head. Another scene where the magic realism is used effectively is on the final performance day. Nina dances alone on stage to portray the character of Odin, the Black Swan. She spins in perfectly on stage, and while spinning, her skin texture changes, which gradually becomes black, and feathers are seen coming out from her skin, which takes the shape of wings of the swan. She spins with the feathered wings to achieve the body language and characteristics of the black swan. The scene finally ends with her posing in a beautifully sculpted posture of a swan with 2 shadows of her on the background wall. The audience is left wondering as to did she really convert into a swan or is she hallucinating?
Okay. Okay, this is also a good example. Okay, but in both these examples, she herself is alone in the situation. It's not being witnessed by others. Is that so?
No, sir. In the first scene, she witnesses herself, like she's alone in the room. Her mother tries to come in, but she doesn't allow. Whereas in the second scene, she's performing on stage.
Audience is there. Okay.
Yes, and even from the wings, other performers view her.
View her undergoing this change. Is that so?
Yes.
Okay, but they are not surprised. They react very naturally. Is that so?
They have, sir. They show her performing, and when the final cut is the last scene, when they show the audience reaction, that time the feathers are not there.
Could it be it's just the imagination of the dance? I have not seen the film. That is what I'm asking. Could it be it's just the imagination of the? She feels enlightened. She feels empowered. She feels like I've become like a swan. So
yes, yes.
So then I don't think you can call it magical realism. It's just it's a psychological study of the character. She psychologically perceiving herself as a swan. She becomes like a swan while she's dancing. Okay, it's not that she's really turning into a swan. Okay, because what the audience sees is something else, isn't it? What the audience sees when the audience is clapping, applauding, they don't see a swan-like character. What they see is the human being. isn't it?
Right.
So I don't think this is more like a perception, the psychological perception or the anubhuti. You know, the character has this anubhuti ki maybe I have ultimately achieved in being like a swan. You know, it's like a mental state. Okay. Okay, chalo, at least I appreciate your efforts too, because you're not, when you're sitting for the exams, you're not required to know exactly what is magical realism or all these most of these difficult questions. But your attempt or your, kind of effort to understand or interpret the question, okay, and try to justify your answers, that is appreciable enough. Okay, okay, chalo.
Thank you, sir.
बट अभी देखो सबको मैं बताना चाह रहा हूँ कि भैया ये जितने रियलिज्म, सूरियलिज्म, मैजिक रियलिज्म, एक्सप्रेशनिज्म, इम्प्रेशनिज्म, जितने मूवमेंट्स है ना, अप्रोचेस टुवर्ड्स आर्ट, ये पढ़ लो, क्योंकि कुछ भी आ सकता है और नहीं भी आ सकता है, लेकिन तुम्हें ये जानना ये सब जरूरी है. आज हम लोग मैजिक रियलिज्म डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, तो एग्जाम में सूरियलिज्म के ऊपर क्वेश्चन आ सकता है.
Ranjan, I have a plan to do those ism, which I want you to also make some pointer, and I would also give it to the student also for the next, because you might need some 2-3 days time in between. That's why I did not plan it for today, because in the cinematography they came with a painting called Scream, and the question was how it inspired a cinema movement. So actually that question was meant for, basically should have been for direction student, but because it is a painting, so they thought it might suit the cinematography. So one day, maybe next week, when we plan for this Friday, Saturday thing, one of the day I will also get into the cinematography students, because they also need to know all these visual things. And since the question came last time, it become more important for them to understand how the painting has inspired certain cinema movements. So I'll plan that 4-5 things, and I will shoot the mail to you first, and then you refine it, and then we will take it up next week on Friday. Okay, guys. Please.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Silence is when you strip a portion of the sound away from a scene. You create a void that the audience must fill themselves in order to properly understand what they are viewing. Silence causes the viewer to become more intimately attached to the film, thus leaving them more emotionally exposed and vulnerable. It is used to create heightened awareness. The absence of sound can give an extra level of realness to the sequence. Silence can also be powerful when it conveys the inner isolation of a character. Simply removing the sounds of the character, cries of despair, can seemingly make them much more emotional and deep. So can you please scroll down?
Go down a little, yeah.
So,
yeah.
In Raging Bull, during the final fight sequence between Jake and Ray, moments of silence are used when you can absolutely not hear anything, followed by the sound of the knock on Jake's face. The silence used in the scene heightens the tension and gets the character close to the audience. In Rear Window, during the murder scene, silence is used to create awareness amongst the audience. Here, it is used to show the isolation of the actor and the silence before the storm.
Okay, I think this is perfect. This is very good. You've given proper examples. You've tried to describe the use of silence in cinema. This is good, I think, yeah.
An experimental film that I have seen recently is An Andalusian Dog by Louis Buñuel. The narrative of the film is not continuous. There are jumps in time and space which make the characters doubt, retract, and repeat themselves very much like a dream, and time is non-linear. The film simply answers the definition of surrealism visually. The scene that I liked are, in a dreamlike sequence, a woman's eye is slit open, juxtaposed with a similarly shaped cloud obscuring the moon moving in the same direction as the knife through the eye. A man pulls a piano along with two priests and a dead donkey towards the woman he's itching to kill. A man rubs off his mouth and his mouth fades. Reacting to this, the woman applies lipstick and, to her amusement, finds her armpit hair on his mouth. These scenes provoke instinctive reactions of disgust and surprise to the spectator.
Okay, I think you have justified your take on what you felt is an experimental film, which is definitely an experimental film by the standards of that time. Asha Nandaliu, a very famous film made both by Louis Buñuel and Salvador Dali, which became a major sensation. Okay, and this incidentally is Buñuel's first film, short film. Okay, I think this is fair enough. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Next.
So,
No.
yeah. So, yeah, first of all, sir, the question is wrong. I wrongly interpreted the question. And also, I think I have made up a new question, sir. Because it is completely wrong, I might say. The question is because I didn't know what is magical realism, and the two questions about the Indian film.
You had enough time, okay? Early, it was yesterday night. The question was posted.
আমার মোবাইল থেকে বাকি সবাই আমারই তো
There's a sound. Can please put yourself on mute?
Yeah, I've done it. So listen, you had enough time provided.
Yes.
Now, if now this is another category of question called expected question.
Yes, sir.
It's your question paper you will find on the Google on the website, and you might find the answer. But what you will not be able to find there in the Google is what is going to be expected question. That is the trick in the examination, because they don't give you the syllabus, and hence you don't know, you have no clue what the hell is going to be asked. If the question like this comes in exam and you misinterpret, you're gone.
Yes,
Okay?
sir.
Other people also tried and did it seriously, maybe 2 hour, 3 hour. And remember, there is no 3 hour over there. There is a 90-minute in which you have to answer the 4 questions.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So, which means every answer need to be given 90 divided by 4. You can calculate easily how many minutes you will get it. So
Yes,
you
sir.
have ample time to do research, and when others can do it, it is not a motherboard circuit diagram of computer. That
Yes, sir.
okay. So any explanation of saying why did you do it, it doesn't matter. You have written something that is worth appreciating, rather than many people who are sleeping and shamelessly they come into this forum and listen to what other people are saying. It's fine. For me, they are as good as who have saved 5,000 rupees and listening to this video and must be regretting, not even regretting, I would say, but not being able to get the input because they never made the effort. And if they make the effort, nobody is going to give the input. So this is a forum where you could get the input of right or wrong, whatever it is. So just read it out and that's it.
Okay, sir. Sir, this we can take this as a separate question, sir. Explain 2 scenes from any Indian films where it is used effectively. I'll just read it. So the first example can be explained from the movie Nayakan, directed by Maniratnam, where the local Don Velu Nayakar, played by Kamal Haasan, accepts a challenge during a wedding reception to bring on smuggled goods from the main ship to shore in exchange for being the king of harbor from Reddy family, who themselves couldn't get it from the main ship due to difficulty with strict customs. This was an important scene and a turning point for Velu Nayakar, as this brought him a name and status between the people in Mumbai by completing the task. It also brought a hatred against him by the Reddy family that made them kill his wife. This was necessary element in the growth of the character in the film. Number 2, sir, can you go a little down?
Okay, go down, Naresh.
The second example can be said that of the movie Anbar Shivam, directed by Sundar C, where the character played by Kamal Haasan advises to the character played by R. Madhavan to not charge the phone during heavy rainfall, as this will destroy the phone. Madhavan, being a phone addict, needing the phone, charges it and the phone gets destroyed. This scene was necessary in its plot, as Madhavan learned so many life lessons through Kamal Haasan afterwards, which helped him to rectify rectify his perceptions on various aspects of everyday life. This in turn helped into developing a great relationship between the characters of Kamal Haasan and Madhavan. So I'll just read it and go, sir. This is different. Number 2B, explain 2 scenes from Explain two scenes from any non-Indian film where it is used effectively. Number one, the first example can be said from the movie Rashomon by Kurosawa Akira, where a child is crying and three characters are surprised. The witness and traveler went to check the baby. The traveler takes a thing from the baby's basket, which was in a tradition used for baby's protection, for feeding his family, and the witness tried to take it back from him, and he told the witness that he lied about the events that happened, and he stole the dagger, which was not found by the police. This scene had tried to convey that the traveler and the witness were similar. The traveler stole the dagger from the crime event, the witness stole the dagger from the crime event, and the traveler stole the protection thing from the baby's basket to feed their families, and the scene was effective in portraying the scene. Number two, the second example can be set from the movie Sixth Sense by M. Night Shyamalan, where the character Dr. Malcolm Crowe, played by Bruce Willis, went to his home where his wife was sleeping with television nearby playing their wedding video. Just then, during her sleep, the wife dropped his wedding ring out of her hand, which scared him as it was worn by him till that time. This scene successfully portrayed that he was a ghost throughout the film, which he never knew, and trying to connect with the previous scene of a child telling him that he could see ghosts, and it was Dr. Malcolm that he was seeing. And this question is correct, sir. This is a correct question. Choose any experimental films you have seen recently seen, and what was the experiment done in it. Mention three important specific examples from the movie which you liked. The experimental film I choose is the 2019 Malayalam movie Jellicut, directed by Lijo Jos Pellisheri. The story revolves around the havoc a buffalo creates to the entire people in a village. This experimental film, as the buffalo is the main protagonist in the film, and also shows different type of human traits when a major issue is happening in an entire village. The way how the camera is aerially moved along with the people hunting of the buffalo makes it a feel to the audience that they too are involved in catching the buffalo. So to go down, sir.
Okay, move down.
Yes, examples. Number one, the first example can be said that of the butcher who wants to take revenge on the buffalo hunter who was previously an acquaintance of the butcher's boss. The butcher made false.
It's not butcher, it's butcher.
Sorry, butcher. Boss. The butcher made false allegations about the hunter and made the villagers throw him out of the village. Later, when he came to hunt the buffalo, this made him jealous of the hunter, and he involves in a fight with him and later stabs him and tells the villagers that the buffalo stabbed him with his horn. Number two, the second example can be said of the person who took out a Lay's chips and starts eating it during the hunt to bring down the buffalo. Number three, the third example can be said as that when the buffalo got trapped in a large pothole, when the buffalo hunter tries to kill the buffalo with the gun, the butcher intervened in between that he wants to kill him by chopping, which later went on to a fight between the villagers who was having two opinions. Then they tried to pull out the buffalo using rope, and when he got above, he broke the rope, killed a person who pulled the rope and ran away.
You cannot really call Jallikattu an experimental film. You know, Naresh, और कोई है क्या इसके बाद? Naresh?
No, nothing. India is already done, so this is the last.
This is last. देखो, experimental film का मतलब कुछ और होता है. हाँ, this is a mainstream cinema. ये जो तुमने Jallikattu का example तुमने दिया, listen. Okay, yes, it's a mainstream film. What is an experimental film? You know, a few others have also attempted. जैसे कि Durgeshwari ने had mentioned this very famous film by Buñuel and Salvador Dali called Ashen Andalou, or there's a French name, and the English name is An Andalusian Dog. It was a surreal film. We'll discuss surrealism a little later. Okay. So first we need to understand what is an experimental film. Okay, if I throw these questions to the students, aspiring students, can you tell me, anybody of you, what is exactly meant by experimental film?
Guys, if you are around, raise your hand and speak out. Okay, though you have mugged up and cut and paste and give the answer there, but you also because there Ranjan. It is a 4-question, 90-minute time, and you answer it.
And of course.
So here the cutting pasting is still fine, but if you have understood it, then you should quickly voice it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it.
देखो या शशांक ने यहाँ पे लिखा कि breaking the experimental film is like breaking the normal conventions of filmmaking. You know, yeah, this is true. The experimental cinema is that film is an approach where you radically go against the conventional type of filmmaking, conventional form, conventional structure. You know, filmmaking kya hota hai, when it becomes a regular practice and it goes through some kind of a production and then it goes through some kind of a distribution, which is common to most films. You know, they start following certain patterns. Okay, there's certain conventions which come into play, which most directors, you know, follow those conventions. Okay, they do not go against the conventions which is set up now. Okay, they do not try to challenge the cinematic conventions. Okay, they might come up with a different kind of story, like Jallikattu is a different kind of a story. A lot of Malayalam films are attempting different kinds of stories, but they are being told all these stories which are really very good films. A lot of these films are really very good films, Malayalam films and all. Okay, they are following the conventions of storytelling, beginning, middle, end, the 3-act structure. They're working with stars. Okay, so everything is within, you know, they're operating within conventions. Okay, they're catering to a mass market also. Even independent cinema, you know, India is producing a lot of independent cinema. A lot of very interesting films are being made. But even most of the independent cinema that you see, they are you know, different only in terms of stories that they are telling. But in terms of storytelling, you know, they are again following the. There's nothing wrong in that. Huh? You're following the convention in order to tell a story, in order to reach out to your audience. There's nothing wrong in it. Okay, it's not that you have to do something different always. That's not it. Okay, as long as you engage the audience, as long as you do something very interesting, as long you know, something which is a little different from the regular fare, there's nothing nothing wrong in it. Okay, but experimental film is an attempt by a filmmaker to radically, quite often consciously, you know, go against the conventions of regular filmmaking. Okay, generally it's an independent effort. Independent effort matlab कि तुम खुद के पैसा से बनाते हो. Most of these films are like short films, like 10 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute का duration होता है. ठीक है, which will not get commercial release, which will not get, you know, a regular distribution जो mode होता है. These films will not go through the regular distribution modes. They don't even attempt to try out this regular distribution modes. They will not approach distributors because they know the distributors will not like our film because it is not a feature length film. It does not have stars. It does not have conventional storytelling. Okay, so they're out. Even before they have made the film, they're out of the so-called market, which caters to regular, so-called regular conventional feature films. So experimental film is something जो अभी शशांक ने लिखा. देखो, हाँ, Parinita, I'll answer your question. AK versus AK is not an experimental film. It's a very unusual story. You know, it's operating within the conventions of the 3-act structure. It has stars. It has a beginning, middle, and end. It's very unique. Okay, it is not experimental. Okay, I would say this director from Calcutta who lives in Goa now. This guy called Q. His actual name is Kaushik Mukherjee. Okay, he calls himself Q. Okay, he has already made 8 or 9 feature films. He had entered into a 7-film deal with Netflix. His first film was experimental. Okay, which he made with his group of friends, his own girlfriend and all. And he had shown, though there was a regular story of a dysfunctional guy who was into drugs and all, he had shown a lot of objectionable scenes which were very objectionable. Okay, sexually very explicit scenes which had, you know, fellatio and all. Okay, and he knew, and he had named it also by using a very expletive, abusive term. It's called Gandu. Okay, it became a cult film in the YouTube world of YouTube. Okay, तब Netflix वगैरह नहीं आया था. If you look at that film, you'll really find कि it's something absolutely different from everything that has been made before in Indian cinema. Okay, so that was a consciously experimental film because he knew I will not get released because of its content, because of its name, because of the style, because of its approach. You know, I'll not. It will not get a commercial release. So he never made the effort to get it commercially released. What he did, he released it on YouTube, on the net, and it became a cult hit. Now, after it became a cult hit, he started getting offers from, you know, he made another film called Tashe Desh. It's based on a Rabindranath Tagore play, okay, which is subverted. This film was produced by Anurag Kashyap's Phantom film, most probably. Anurag Kashyap was a producer. Again, this was an experimental film because if you see the film, you look at the way he has interpreted the play by Rabindranath Tagore. It's radically different. He has brought in, he's brought in elements of metal rock, experimental songs. He himself is a musician. So he has radically subverted the play written by Rabindranath Tagore. It's almost like a surreal experience what you see on the screen. Razzmatazz of colors and sounds and all. Okay, that was very, very experimental, but it was one of those rare experimental films which were released commercially in theaters because it was produced by Anurag Kashyap, who is a brand name today. Okay, now and Netflix entered into a 7-film deal with this guy Q. Now, if you look at those 7 films which are available on Netflix, okay, you'll see those films are really very interesting, but they are no longer experimental anymore. Because once you enter into a deal with a giant called Netflix, and cater to domestic market and international market, especially India, you have to start being a little conventional in your storytelling, in your approach towards filmmaking, in your approach towards selection of subjects. Though the films, if you see, the subjects are very interesting, the subjects are very radical, the subjects are kind of anti, the dominant ideology. It opposes the dominant ideologies which is prevailing now. Okay, they're really very interesting, but you can no longer call them experimental because they have started falling into that trap of conventional filmmaking. Okay, so
sir, can I interrupt here, sir? 1 minute.
Bolo.
Sir, if we can say, can we call Pulp Fiction an experimental film because of it?
Again, it is an experimental film because of its radical structuring. But again, I don't know whether I really can call it experimental because it has a it's radical. It's radical in its approach towards storytelling. But I don't think you can call Pulp Fiction an experimental film.
No, sir. Why I really asked was that if Pulp Fiction is called an experimental film, then Miramax distributed the film, which led to its big successful.
Experimental films can also become popular. देखो जैसे आशन बुनवेल का जो फर्स्ट फिल्म जो है आशन आंदेलू Andalusian Dog, which Durgeshwari discussed, it's so popular. Now it's commercially available. It's available everywhere. It's available on DVDs and all. You have to spend 1,000 rupees to buy that DVD. Okay, so what is experimental today can become conventional tomorrow because a lot of time it has happened. Experimental film or a group of experimental films, they start off a trend. They start off a trend, other filmmakers join the bandwagon. Okay, they start following the style of the so-called the experimental films, and the experimental films itself becomes dominant style. So it no longer remains experimental. That becomes a convention.
Ranjan, I'll quickly make a comment. What you said right now is a very, very interesting statement. That something which is an experiment can become a conventional in a certain number of years. For example,
exactly.
Comment on it. Now they may ask you to comment on it. So then you need to choose. Say, for example, I'm saying Louis Buñuel. Buñuel's style of surrealistic film was picked up by many others, and then it became a kind of no more experimental as such. If we extend this statement to that situation, where the couple of more...
Why? Buñuel फिर भी देखो, I'll tell कि Buñuel, even Buñuel films, Ashan Andalou was experimental definitely, but if you look at Buñuel's early films, the films which he made in Mexico and all, they're very, very conventional. Very, very conventional. They had a couple of surreal scenes in between, idhar udhar. And later on, of course, films like which he co-wrote with Jean-Claude Carrière, that French screenplay writer, like Milky Way, Obscure Object of Desire, Milky Way, The Discreet Charm of the Bourgeoisie. They were definitely experimental, but by that time, Buñuel had become so famous you know, that these films, though they were, you know, I really cannot, I don't know whether I can call them experimental anymore, because they had become a part of the traditional, conventional, at least the distribution system, if not in terms of, I would give the example of Godard. You know, when Godard made his first film, Breathless, which had so much of jump cuts and the use of handheld camera for the first time, radical storytelling, radical style, he throws the conventions of, you know, the Hollywood filmmaking out of the window. You know, he's jumping the line, he's cutting with into the scene. So that's the birth of jump cuts. He's holding the camera in his hand, his cameraman, Raul Kotar. Okay, so that was something really experimental and radical. Okay, and now when it appears for the first time, it is experimental. When it becomes popular, the style becomes popular, other filmmakers also start following that same style, you know, then it becomes regular. From, you know, from being experimental, it becomes popular. From popular, it becomes regular. Regular matlab, then it becomes conventional. Today, every filmmaker uses, you know, jump cuts within the scenes. So many filmmakers use, it's no longer a big deal. You know,
so, Ranjan, I would like you to comment on the pointers which you have made about the...
Just give me another 30 seconds. Experimental film is also known as avant-garde filmmaking. Huh? I'll just, avant-garde film is, ye bhi dekh lo, A-V-N-T, avant, G-A-R-D-E. Avant-garde is a French word. Avant-garde filmmaking, we kehta, America mein it's called underground filmmaking, underground film. Underground films, America mein. Okay, Germany mein it's called experimental films. Experimental films. So these are the same. Avant-garde films bolo, underground films in America bolo, experimental films, they mean the same thing.
यहाँ पर जो है, I'll just interrupt in between, Ranjan. So in an Indian context, if you really wanted to choose a experimental film, you can think of Om Darbadar by...
Oh, very good. Om Darbadar. Definitely. Om Darbadar is an experimental film. Even Mani Kaul's first film, Uski Roti, the trilogy that he made, those are experimental films. Uski Roti and the two other films, he experimented with the form.
Correct.
Isn't it?
So,
okay.
Now your pointers.
Magic realism, magic realism, I'll just read out. I mean, we have almost discussed most of these things. It's predominantly Latin American literary genre, which combines realism in literature with elements of mythology or fantasy or the miraculous. Okay, now the term has come to be associated with films and other art forms, of course. The setting primarily is real. Real matlab, yeah, this is a very important point, which is a common everyday life, mundane life. But these magical elements are infused. They're introduced in the fiction in a very matter-of-fact manner. It's a very important phrase that I'm using. Matter, बहुत casually they are being introduced. They're not introduced suddenly. You know, the idea being that they're treated by the characters as real, who don't look at them as something unreal. So for the characters who are inhabiting the space in the film, you know, for them it is very natural. It's not something unnatural. For the audience, it might be unnatural. Audience might take some time to adjust to ye kya ho raha hai. Okay? But for the characters inside the film, it is very, very natural. Okay. Now the magical elements, the next point, magical elements. Kya ho gaya ye? Just a moment. The magical elements that are introduced are, this is the point I've been trying to repeatedly make, are not psychological states of minds of the characters. The characters see them as real and are not surprised by their presence. The other characters also see them as real. It is only the reader or the viewer who has to adjust himself to this new hyper reality, which समझ में आ रहा है? One is the perception of that particular character. It's not that everybody is looking at her as a black swan, growing feathers and all. So that is not magical realism. Okay, the blending of the real and the unreal is done in a very seamless, smooth manner. Seamless matlab bahut hi pyar se. Where the dividing line between the real and the unreal is blurred or obliterated. Clear hai? Okay, let's go down a little. Yeah. Time is both history. Time is both history and the timeliness. Time here पे space is often challenge identities. ये I'll have to explain a little. क्या है? Surrealism के बारे में हम लोग बाद में discuss करेंगे. Maybe not today. Surrealism is again another approach which looks beyond reality. Magic realism also looks beyond reality. So then, what is the difference between surrealism and magic realism? This difference we will not discuss today. This difference between surrealism and what is surrealism, and how it is different from magic realism we'll be discussing some other day. Okay, surrealism mein aaj abhi itna kehna chahta hu ki surrealism is something, you know, which is a very subjective experience where there's no element of rationality. You are sacrificing all your rational thoughts. You're following almost like a, you know, it's a nashe mein tum ho, or tum, you know, you're juxtaposing diametrically, you know, disparate elements to create a new meaning which may not have a meaning. It's very, very, you know, sensuous matlab related to your senses. Okay, and it does not, there's no element of history, there's no element of time. It exists in a historical, a timeless kind of a zone. You know, it's divorced from reality. That is surrealism. Okay, it's a very, very subjective. Basically, surrealism movement, surrealism, which case started in the 1920s, is heavily influenced by Freud. Freud was known as the father of modern psychology. Okay, so तुम अगर surreal painting अगर देखोगे, Salvador Dali का एक famous painting है, a clock, you know, on the table is melting. The clock is melting. Does a clock melt? No. You know, so this division between realism, the table is very realistic, the other things are very realistic, the clock is melting. Clock थोड़ी melt करता है यार, clock तो time दिखाता है, ठीक है ना? So ये जो division between the real world and the imaginary world, or the sensationalist world, sensational world, but the sensuous world, is absolutely blurred. And the product that you see, the art that you see, I should not use the word product, with art that you see, whether it's a film or a painting or a poetry, or the surreal poetry that you're reading, वहाँ पे there's an element of timelessness, a historicity. But the history has no connection with it. Whereas magic realism exists in history. Even when you're showing those magical, you know, things, fantastical elements, those miraculous things, you know, it's very, very political. You're trying to make a political point. If you read 100 Years of Solitude by Marquez, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, the famous Latin American, the Colombian writer, okay, who popularized, I wouldn't say he popularized, the term became popular from his works, okay, वो Mocondo बोल के एक fictitious city का mention किया है वो novel में. वहाँ पे things happen in a very, sometimes in a very magical manner. People are cool about it, but it exists in a particular period of time in history, some part of the late 19th century or early 20th century. Is deeply political. Garcia Marquez is trying to make a political point. He's referring to history again and again, but not in a realistic manner, but in a, you know, magic. He's starting to magic realism. Okay, so that is the primary difference between magic realism and surrealism. Surrealism exists in a vacuum in terms of time and space, but magic realism exists not in a vacuum, in a particular period in history, making a political point. Okay, again, this is again very important. कि fantasy films या जो fantasy literature होता है, in fantasy world में the entire world is unreal or imaginary. लेकिन magic realism का setting is always very realistic, recognizable reality. ठीक है ना? वहां से it takes off. But fantasy में क्या होता है? शुरुआत से ही it has taken off. It already has taken off. You are inhabiting it's already in the air. Okay, even in the end it is in the air.
You're born into the air.
Born in the air and dies in the air. लेकिन magic realism take off point is it takes off, it comes back again, then it mingles. कभी air में है, कभी ground में है, कभी air और ground mingle हो जाता है. You know, but वो ground से ही शुरू होता है magic realism का जो journey है. देखो भाई, examples जो दिया, these films I've seen many years ago. Pan's Labyrinth, which I felt I overheard two students discussing whether they can call Pan's Labyrinth this thing or not, matlab surreal or not. But as far as I can remember, there is a monster in that film, and one or two characters, they are children, they encounter the monster, and I think the monster is a very friendly monster, and the film is set I think during the Nazi era. Okay, and so it has a political significance. The monster has a political significance. I think the kids become friends with the monster, and the monster appears in a very natural manner, and the kids are not like, you know, surprised by the presence of the monster. Okay, they interact with the monster in a very natural manner. Okay, that's Pan's Labyrinth. I don't know. Then again, The Shape of Water. If you look at The Shape of Water, have you seen this film? It's again by the same director, Guillermo del Toro is a very famous.
Sir, can I interrupt for a moment?
Sure.
Sir,
Bolo,
I have this question. Purushottam and I were having a discussion, and he brought up very brilliant points, especially with Del Toro's movies. Like when we are talking about magical realism, where magic is considered normal, but there's no explanation, right? It naturally is integrated. But I'm not talking about Pan's Labyrinth because it is the debatable portion for me, which comes over what I can consider it. For The Shape of Water, particularly, it's the monster, the fishman. The fishman, he comes from a structure. He comes from structure means there's a fantasy world that he has left behind that exists. In that there's a structure there. There are rules in that structure. So my problem is I am having a problem understanding. Obviously, I think the lines are not that clear, but I am having a problem differentiating between fantasy and magical realism when there's a very natural civilization and structure implied behind the magic. So I don't know how to.
Shape of Water mein kya bolo jara? Shape of Water mein, I think as far as I can remember, when I saw the film only once for the first time in 2017, the setting is natural, na? The setting is absolutely natural, realistic setting, everyday kind of a setting, and then they negotiate with this huge
fishman.
Animal, fishman or whatever it is called, isn't it? Which is unnatural. Aisa to real world mein hota nahi hai na. But the people are dealing with it. It's not that, and people are dealing with it, and the character makes love with the animal also. At one point, I think, inside the bathroom, in the bathtub. So, and these things are very happening in a very, in a very natural manner. So, I personally feel that Shape of Water is, I think, it's magical realism, because you are introducing a magical element in the form of that animal, or whatever you call it, in a realistic setting, and people are engaging with that in a very kind of a normal manner, and people are accepting the presence of that animal, in a very normal manner, though there is some kind of a conflict, of course, between that huge animal and these people, so I think it's I can call it magical realism. Okay, of course, it's debatable. We can always, we need to see the film again. But offhand, मुझे लगा Shape of Water or Pan's Labyrinth, ये दो जो films हैं, Guillermo del Toro का, they resort to magical realism. मुझे लगता है.
Pan Labyrinth does it better. My problem with Shape of Water mainly lies with the fact that it's implied that the creature is from a full-fledged fantasy world. Like as if if I take an example, like if you're I will take the example of Harry Potter. Consider any normal person in the world where Harry Potter exists. There's this entire world that exists. We don't know about it.
No, that is fantasy. That is not magic.
Yeah, that is fantasy.
So
the Shape of Water, there's the implication that this fishman, this ape sapien copy, is from some other world where there's a race and civilization built around that. That structure is causing me problem.
Okay. So that's a point of discussion and debate. ठीक है, समझ गया मैंने. हाँ. So you mean to say कि whether we can debate whether if he is coming from that kind of a structured world, which is actually a world inside the film. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But in reality, that kind of a world does not exist, na, according to science.
Yes, sir, but in the movies universe, it does.
So the magic realism is that, na? Magic realism is true only in the movie, only in the work of art, the painting or literature. The magic realism does not exist in real life. Na? So similarly, the world tum jo dekh rahe ho, the reference to a structured, different kind of a world from where this animal has come, and that is true for the world of cinema on the screen. The rectangular screen that we see.
No, sir. I will give another example to you. So there's a book called Elric.
Okay.
There's a book called Elric, and the author, I think he's dead now. He has a lot of books called Eternal Champions and all that. They're pulp fiction, basically.
Okay.
So in one of the books, Elric travels to the human world, and nobody else interacts with him nobody interacts with him as if like the other world exists. But he knows that the world exists. So that is the same problem I'm having. In Elric's own books, it's a fantasy book. It's not magic. It's full-fledged fantasy. But she comes to the human world and interacts with eternal champions and other characters. Then we are seeing a story that is very similar to Shape of Water, where there's one individual from a civilized world that is coming in. So, so I think the problem that is happening is that I'm trying to draw very clear lines where there shouldn't be clear lines.
Don't do that. That is the problem of, you know, I discussed this during our interactions today. When we are studying certain things academically, we compartmentalize. This is this is that, that is that. Okay, but when we apply it to art, sometimes this dividing line becomes blurred. Just like sometimes you might see a film and you are confused. Can I call it surreal or should I call it magic realism? You know,
Yes,
though
sir.
these are two distinct categories. Okay, but sometimes the lines get blurred. So don't get hassled, especially as an artist or as a filmmaker, even as a critic. But if you are a teacher or if you're a professor teaching in a university, of course you have to be very, you know, when you're trying to explain to students, you have to be very categorical. This is magic realism and this is surrealism. ठीक है ना? हाँ, लेकिन क्या होता है, art is more intuitive than intellectual. ये समझ के रखना. When we are writing a script or making a film or doing a painting, of course there's a craft that we follow, a craft that we need to learn. Okay, there's some conventions that we need to learn, the principles that we need to know. But it is the intuition. The journey starts from the heart. Okay, after some point we apply our head. Okay, so intuition, when you're relying on your intuition matlab heart, you know, something very, you know, you're delving into your subconscious. So when we are depending on intuition to write the first draft or make a film, you know, वहाँ पे logic always does not work. ऐसा वहाँ पे lines get blurred. You know, कभी realism में हम लोग deal कर रहे हैं, कभी surrealism ला रहे हैं, कभी, you know, we are starting to, and we're not doing it consciously or intellectually. We are doing it intuitively. Okay, so your work of art, the film that you have made or the poem that you have written may defy these simple categorizations. You get what I'm saying? So your example of Shape of Water, you know, is defying the conventions. You're trying to straight jacket. तुम straight jacketing करने का कोशिश कर रहे हो. A work of art may, you know, defy revolt against this kind of straight jacketing. Okay, na? So we can, of course, we need to discuss, we need to debate because we are human beings, and that is how knowledge progresses. If you stop debating and discussing and arguing and fighting, then knowledge will become still stagnant. And life cannot be stagnant, art cannot be stagnant. There has to, this movement has to be continuous, and the movement can only be continuous only when you debate and argue.
Yes, sir.
So argument, dissension is required. Okay, so that is there. हाँ, यहाँ पे एक point मैंने थोड़ा सा I'll just repeat कि time is both history and timelessness. मतलब जैसे कि surrealism में it is only timelessness. There's no element of history. Okay, but in magic realism, definitely the story is rooted in a historical period, but it might resort to, once in a while, it might resort to a zone which is timelessness or a historical. But primarily, overall, it is dealing with a historical period.
Sir, may I ask one question?
Shashank wanted to say Mahabharata is a fantasy or magic realism. So my response is that it is a myth because many people don't believe it existed. But since there is a Bhagavad Gita, and so somewhere or other people connect that it must have happened. It is not just a myth, but definitely it could be just a fantasy probably, or it is a myth, but not the magic realism for sure.
No. देखो, epics are not magic realism. Epics, देखो, epics, as I was telling you in the last class, the epics. Though if you ask me, I'm a rational guy. I'm also an atheist. Okay, so for me, Mahabharata is a fantastic story. Okay, Ramayana is a interesting story. I don't believe in the godliness of Ramayana or Mahabharata. Okay, for me these are very interesting stories. Okay, and for me these are fantasies. Okay, and it's not magic realism because they are not rooted in reality. Okay, because fantastical things are happening in any epic, not only in Ramayana and Mahabharata. If you read epics, you know, if you read Iliad or Odyssey or the African epics or the Russian epics, you know, वहाँ पे देखोगे तुम, entire thing is a fantasy. Okay. Now, if there are people who believe that these are not fantasies that really happen, I'm not going to fight with them. They have every right to believe. Okay. But primarily, if you look at it from the point of view of literature or academics, they are fantasy stories.
So can I ask one question?
Bolo.
Sir, the scene in Magnolia where the frog rains from the sky, is it element of magical realism?
What is the reaction of the characters? I think it's magical realism. The frogs raining from the sky. Okay, I think it's magical realism. Until unless it's perceived by individual category, it's distorted psyche.
No. Everybody experiences it.
Then it's magical. Of course, it's
frog rains
realism.
is not a. Is a rare event, but can happen.
Sir, it's a real. Sir, in the story, it's a real event, as in like it actually happens. Even in our real life,
it actually happens, and even in real life, frog rains.
And nobody takes it normally. It happens.
Then it is not magical realism.
But it's very rare, sir.
It's real, but it is plausible. I was talking about the element of plausibility, I was talking about the element of plausibility. Okay,
sir, but the plausibility
is convenient.
Very rare in this situation. Like, we would not in our lifetimes would encounter frogs falling from the sky.
But ऐसा होता है ना क्या? मुझे पता नहीं ऐसा होता है क्या? Once in a while.
Yes, sir, it can happen.
Not once in a while, but it can happen.
So scientifically it has been proved कि ऐसा हो सकता है ना? होता नहीं है वो अलग बात है.
Sir, 1 minute. Can I ask you something, sir?
Yeah. So it's magically realistic or not, sir? I was confused.
Which one?
About the frog rain thing. Should we consider
Magnolia? I've not seen Magnolia. I've seen Magnolia. I don't remember. It depends on the context. What is the context in the film? What is the context in which the frogs start raining?
Yes,
I think. Can you tell me the story very briefly in one line?
What happens when the frog rains? There is one situation where a person is about to suicide, but because of a frog falling right on his gun, the shot deflects and he cannot shoot himself. So then
it's real. Then I don't think it's magical realism. Then I don't think it's magical realism because it can also happen in real life, as we were just discussing. कैसा कभी-कभी हो सकता है.
We are done for today. Pragya,
बोलो.
Quick question, please ask.
जी सर. जो एक्सपेरिमेंटल फिल्म है उसको डिफरेंट नैरेटिव भी एक्सपेरिमेंटल फिल्म में आता है, जैसे अमित दत्ता के फिल्म्स डिफरेंट नैरेटिव.
those Amit Datta's films are experimental, of course.
सर और एक क्वेश्चन, इंडियन फिल्म में जो मैजिकल रियलिज्म में बेस्ट होता है, कुछ एग्जांपल्स आप के हिसाब से क्या
देखो, नरेश
दासगुप्ता का फिल्म
बुद्धदेव दासगुप्ता जो बता रहा था
डेफिनेटली मैजिक रियलिज्म है. और एक और
जी सर.
अरे सुन लो यार भैया, तो अभी एक और फिल्म आया है, मैं घोड़े को जलेबी
खिलाऊंगा. forgot to mention that film. That is an experiment. That is the experimental film. Please see that film. You have to pay and watch. Please, घोड़े को जलेबी खिलाने के लिए ले जा रहा हूँ. She is one of my students. Way back in 2011, 2012. Anamika Haskar. She is my student. So please see this film. It is definitely an experimental film, and it is an extremely unusual film. Nothing of that sort has ever happened in Indian cinema, at least for the last. I don't recall.
I wrote a small article which is being shared on her timeline.
I've read that. Yeah. मैंने पढ़ा वो.
It is one of the best 100 films ever made.
Yeah. आराम से.
So that's
वो film देख लो तुम लोग, ठीक है ना? Okay, चलो. We'll meet next Friday.
Just mark your polling here and that's it.
Okay, chalo, bye.
Just quickly mark your attendance here. I've launched the poll. That's it. It is not the marks, but kind of a attendance. Those people who have gone to sleep in between, don't go to sleep in between, because these are the expected questions you are working on. There is a limit. There is multiple choice question. There is no limit. God knows from where it will come. But the good thing for you is there is a MSQ this time. So if you could score in MSQ, which will be domain specific, good. Tonight I intend to make a small video on it, but watch it tomorrow. If you will have a time, I will inform everybody. So 2 more are left. Quickly press the button before I end the meeting. Gone to sleep? Wonderful. No problem. Goodbye.